Good evening, everyone, and good afternoon and early good morning. I know in the UK, it's Jordie. It's so good to be back. I had a couple of weeks off doing things with expos and Mind, Body and Spirit and all that sort of stuff. So you have seen duplicates of me over the last couple of weeks. So it's really good to be back live today. It's been awesome the last 3 weeks. If you do hear my cat meowing because it's trying to get into my healing room. So that's where I'm sitting, in my reading room and my healing room. As you can see, all my beautiful things behind me. So if you hear the meows, is because he wants to get in, which is quite funny. He does. It's only been in the last couple of weeks. He's wanting to help me do readings and healings and all that sort of stuff, which is pretty cool. And he hasn't done it before, so I know when he meows, I know it's going to be a good show today. So hopefully the callers will be fantastic, and the readings will be awesome. Now, so it's been awesome. Happy summer solstice to everyone over in the States today, and we had winter solstice last night, and I did my first actual thing for winter solstice in ever. I did my Yule log, which is awesome. I burnt that, and all my wishes for the new year, or the year coming up, and also made some new I haven't made it before, is mulled wine, and oh my god, it was amazing. Family didn't like it though, so I thought awesome, all the more for me. So I actually sat by the fire last night and just looked at the moon and put my wishes out there, hoping that it all comes to fruition this year, which is, I'm really looking forward to it, because I now do this full time. I have no longer a corporate job or what I call a muggle world anymore. I actually work this full time, and I'm loving it. I've got a lot of new projects coming up with some people, and yeah, so really looking forward to the next 6 months to the rest of the year. And my cat's scratching to try and get in. It's really funny. So yeah, it has been an interesting couple of weeks for me with all the energies and all that, and the super new moon that came up before Mind, Body and Spirit. I did a full expo, 3 days of readings, which was amazing. A lot of good connections, a lot of new clients and old clients as well. Not old, but people I've seen before, I should say. Regular clients. I shouldn't say old because they're not old, but it was really good to see all the regulars as well. So wondering what's happening over in your side of the world. It is really cold right now, so I would love anyone that's over in the States to send that beautiful warm weather over here. So yeah, it's I'm trying to sort of, what spirit? Okay, now it's interesting because with all the new energies and everything coming up, we are feeling a little bit ungrounded, and I feel like that's not just people who are empathic or enlightened. I want to say there's all of us who do feel energies in a way that super new moon, it's been really sort of full on, so we need to start grounding ourselves. And I find the best way to ground myself is the week before, that's interesting, I just remembered that, the week of the super new moon, my cats and dogs were going psycho. I ended up having to smudge the house and ground it, and making sure that everything was sort of settled and grounded again, because I feel like it was a little bit haywire. But I do feel that coming up soon, because you've gone into the winter summer solstice over there, it's good to just allow yourself to sit in the beautiful long days and soak that sun in, because it's always nice to have the feminine energy of the moon but the masculine energy of the sun, and really sort of balance, which I find that once we find that we're out of balance, it can go a little bit haywire. So yeah, grounding, I find, especially this month, has been a challenge, but I find doing things that are crafty or doing things that I love to do sort of grounds me a little bit, and walking outside, which I haven't done for God knows how long. So today's a nice sunny day, so hopefully I'll be able to do some walking today. So, and I'm going to be an auntie in a couple of weeks, so I'm very excited about that too. So Yay. So I have my first caller, Alison in Aurora, Colorado. Hi, Alison.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. Thank you for choosing me.
Good. No, you're more than welcome. It's funny. I love how spirit just throw people, and you're not expecting to be chosen, and all of a sudden spirit just go, here you go. So now it's so true. Now, would you like a psychic or mediumship reading, or a bit of both, or whatever comes through?
A bit of both, or whatever comes through.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm just getting a little bit of a headache, so I'm wondering if I've got someone here who suffered from headaches. So, okay, now let me just... Oh, wow. Okay, so I know I've got a lady here who's in spirit who has got this beautiful, and I mean absolutely gorgeous, natural curly hair, but it's not like, I want to say ringlet. I want to say it's a beautiful sort of bouncy curl, and I feel like it's to the shoulders, and I feel like she had a fringe, or what you call bangs, just at the front over the head. And she looks quite, for me, she looks young, but I want to make reference to whether or not she's showing me in her 50s, but I want to make reference to 55 to 58 with her. I don't feel that's when she passed, but she's just presenting herself here. Whether or not she was a little bit older than that, maybe in her 60s, but I don't feel like she got past 65, 68 is what I want to say to you. But she's very vibrant, very outgoing, and she's got this beautiful smile on her face. And I do feel that if I have got the age wrong, it's only because she doesn't look her age. Now, I am getting headaches or sinus headaches with her. I don't know if that's what she always suffered from, but I'm also suffering from my back area, like in between the shoulder blades as well. So I'm not sure if she's had a few accidents or she always suffered from headaches, but I'm actually getting a really bad sort of sinus headache around behind the eyes. Now, this lady I also want to connect with is on mum's side of the family as well. But she keeps saying auntie, but I don't know if she's auntie or you would call her auntie, but there's just a reference to that. She's beautifully made up too. I want to say her nails, she showed me her nails, and I don't know if they were always painted, but there's something about her nails, and they've got that point. You know how some people have the square sort of edge? She's got this point on her fingernails as well. They were very well manicured. Does this resonate with you at all at the moment?
Well, I do have a couple of aunts that could be.
Okay, now it's like, I want to say she's got fair hair, or she dyed it blonde, or there's a fairness to the hair, but she's just got it's beautiful bouncy curl. I don't want to say it's now this is going to show my age. We perming, like you perm for permanent curl.
Oh, yeah.
I want to make reference, she has this beautiful permanent curl, but it's a big, thick sort of curl. I don't feel like it's like a really tight curl, if that makes sense. But it's just bouncy and it's shoulder length. And I do want to say that she's got this beautiful figure. She's showing me her figure, whether or not she lost her figure before she passed, but I know she's got this beautiful figure now. I do feel, though, that she was not well before she passed, in a sense that she lost, I'm feeling like she's got painkillers, or there's some sort of reference to that, but I do feel around the head area with her. Would that make sense?
Well, I do have an aunt that passed of, I don't know, well, we don't know what she passed of. She just passed in the middle of the night.
Okay, because I feel like it was peaceful, but I do want to say there was illness with her, not like someone that is sick with cancer or anything like that. I don't feel like it was very well known. I just feel like she always had headaches, or there was always a reference to headaches with her.
Huh. Okay.
Like even sinus and that.
Yeah, I do believe she did have sinus problems.
Okay, perfect. So now, would I be correct in saying, is your mum and mum's still here, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. Is mum one of 4, or is there 4 girls?
Yes, there was 4 girls.
4 girls. Okay, so there's more than 4 then.
Yes.
Thank you, because she's just making me aware there was 4 of them. Okay, thank you.
Okay, yep.
Now,
there was 4 girls.
Thank you. And she's also making me reference, is there two that have passed or there's two
Yes.
that are really, thank you, because she's making me aware of that. Okay, because I feel like they're both coming in together or they're both together is what I want to hear.
Oh, wow.
Now,
Okay,
I
cool.
also-
Yeah, my Aunt Helen and my Aunt Joni.
Thank you. Now, was one of them an office worker or loved being in the office or
Yes.
something sort of office? Thank you, because I want to make reference to that. Now, she's also making me aware that she's definitely got more front, what we call over here, it's funny because we call it Myers, but she's got more front than Myers, which means that she's always in there. She always says how it is and she doesn't stop for no one. She just says it, if that makes sense to you. And I do want to say that she's got this beautiful way of, and it's just the fact that if you didn't know her, you would always, like, it would be really funny when someone would meet her or greet her and she'd be always up front. She would be, people would go, whoa, hang on a second. I just slow down a little, like really not put off by her, but just because she's, as we call it over here, and I do apologise, I'm trying to think of what you guys would say over there, but it's more of a case of more front than Maya, so very forward and very forward thinking as well. Now, she also wants to mention to you, can you please tell Mum hello? And there's yellow daffodils, or there's a reference to daffodils that I'm seeing daffodils. So for me, that's just a reference to like friendship, but daffodils also means cancer. So I don't know if one of them had cancer or there's a reference around cancer around them as well, but she just wants to acknowledge that. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, yeah, totally makes sense because my mom was just diagnosed with cancer again. So.
Oh, wow. Oh, you've just freaked me out. Okay, awesome. I love when you freak out the medium. It just makes for me, it's really good, so I know that I'm on track. This is the thing. Now, she wants to make reference to, please let your mum know that they've got her back. Also, I want to make reference to that I feel like she's going to kick this again. I feel like there is something about this that your mum's a very strong woman, and is it okay? It is. I don't want to sort of say much about this, but I feel like it's got to a point where whether or not there's something about her bones, or there's some sort of reference to not being able to walk, or she's getting pain. There's just that reference there of aches and pains in the bones. I don't think she's got cancer in the bones, but I just feel like she's starting to.
No, it's like
it's
her
wearing
hips and back.
Oh, okay, thank you. And it's funny because I got a pain in my hip and I was like, I don't know if that's it or not, but yeah, I'll leave that. Okay, perfect. Well, she just wants to say that I feel like you guys, she's going to kick this again. I feel like there's a reference to getting on top of it again because it's been caught so early. Now, she's also wanting to say to you that you have got some beautiful opportunities coming up for you, and stop holding yourself back. I feel like you've got a little bit of self-doubt going on at the moment, because I feel like the opportunities, this is around work, I feel like the opportunities, you may feel like you may not have the knowledge or the understanding of the job, but I feel like it's just going to fall into place if you take this opportunity. Now, if it's not around you now, I feel like it's been, or it's just coming up. I feel like, does that make sense to you?
Sure. We
just wants
own
to
our
make
own
reference.
business, and I really need to get more involved on, because we just like started the business kind of quickly, and I really need to learn, or I think I need to figure out how to just be better, get better at it.
Okay, cool, because I feel like there's opportunities coming up for you to gain this knowledge. Now, it's not going back to school. This is what I'm not saying that. I feel like you're going to, either someone's going to come in to help you understand a few things, but I don't want to say that you're going back to school. I feel like you've already got the knowledge, but it's just unlocking it, if that makes sense. Like to look at things differently. And I feel like someone's going to come up in your life that is going to show you this. Now, it's interesting because you're just awesome. I love how they give me signs, and she's just given me something. Now, obviously, you know what a Tiffany box looks like. With the blue and the white, a Tiffany box from Tiffany & Co. Yeah. Well, I want to make reference to the Tiffany box, but it's going to be wrapped in a rainbow-coloured like that, similar to the color of the box is Tiffany, but she's showing me a rainbow colored ribbon around the box.
Huh.
So it's like I want to say, you see this, you know that this person's coming in or things are just going to start working out for the business, but I know it's coming for you, Alison.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
And I also want to make reference to the fact that by the end of the year, you'll feel a lot more comfortable in this. So have you only had the business like at the start of the year? Is there 3 to 4 months around this?
It's actually 3 years.
Okay, I got the 3 to 4. Sorry, because I want to say in the next 6 months, it's going to be really, really change and a lot more cemented, if that makes sense. I feel there's a different way of marketing it. There's a different way of looking at the marketing for this for you. It's like a fresh new start. So, for example, the Tiffany box, instead of a white ribbon, it's the rainbow because it's different. But I do want to say there's that, if that makes sense to you.
Totally does.
Okay, awesome. Do you have a question quickly?
Yes, I do have a question for you.
Yes.
It's surrounding my daughter and granddaughter. My daughter Brooke and my granddaughter Mary, her daughter, and my daughter is not in a place where she makes good decisions, and I'm afraid she drinks too much and might take other drugs. And I'm really worried. She lives with us, and I take care of my granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I make sure
Mm-hmm.
I am available all the time to make sure my daughter doesn't take off with her and, just is with bad people or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And I really am desiring to get custody of Mary, but I know that my daughter wouldn't do that just because she doesn't want me to have custody of her. And she likes to pretend like she's a good mom, but she is when she wants to be, but that's only when she wants to be, and she isn't when she, is thinking about herself. And
yeah, and this is where I want to say for you is, one, there's a bit of heal. I feel like there's been something, oh God, in the last 4 to 5 years around your daughter that has really triggered this momentum, if that makes sense. And I do want to say around your daughter, there's something that will give her, I want to say re-trigger. There's a healing element there that she needs a little bit of healing. But I do want to say what you're doing right now is actually giving her the space. You feel like you may be a little bit overbearing, but just give her the space. And I do feel that just letting her know that you've got her back, especially with her daughter, but as long as the granddaughter knows that you are there for her when she needs to, not to be overbearing. But I do want to say there's some sort of reference in the next 3 to 4 months that your daughter will either get a trigger to change, or there's a reference to really, it's like I want to say she's lost loving herself. And the relationship, she doesn't know who she is, if that makes sense. Like, she's lost who she is as self-wise. And it's not to do with alcohol or drugs. I just feel like it's not her spirit that's lost. I just feel like she needs to sort of refocus on where she wants to be. And I do want to say she's going to change.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but I do want to say just allowing them to know that you're there for them without being overbearing, which I know you don't, because that's not your personality. I don't feel like you're overbearing. I just feel that things are going to start sort of happening for you. And I do want to say your aunties have got your back so much so they want to kick you up the butt to go, you need to work on you and just allow them to be them, but knowing that they have your support. But I do want to say that your daughter may come to you at a little bit of a breakdown, to a point, not nervous breakdown, but just a breakdown and go, I need help. And I do feel like that's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 months.
Nice. That's perfect.
Okay. So can I leave that with you, Alison? Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. And your aunties are hysterical. Like I just want to say one's a little bit quieter than the other, and I feel like the one that has
Yes.
the curly hair was the one that's very much forward, and she
Oh,
would
yeah.
tell it how it is. And I feel like your mum's the one that stands back a little bit as well. So I feel like there was two and two. So two girls that are very forward, two girls that sort of shy. But I do want to make
Yep.
reference to your mum's one of the shy ones, and she doesn't
Yes,
like
she is.
putting out that she needs help. So I'll leave that with you. But yeah, your aunties have got your back and got your mum's back as well.
Thank you so much.
So I'll leave that
you
with
are
you.
you hit the nail
Thank
on the head,
you.
and I appreciate everything. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Now I have Sherry from Frank. Is it Fredericksburg in Virginia?
Hi.
Sherry. Hi, Sherry. How are you?
Good, thank you.
That's good. Is that Frankensburg? Oh, sorry, Fredericksburg.
Yes, Fredericksburg.
Thank you. Virginia. Oh, I can't wait to go over to the States because it's so many things I love to do, and Virginia is one of the places I want to go for sure. So, okay. So, Sherry, did you?
Very pretty.
Yeah. It's so cold over here at the moment, Sherry. I just want sun right now.
I'm just okay. I know it might be cold.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys do get cold over there too, through winter, don't you?
Oh, we sure do. It
Yeah,
gets
okay.
downright cold in the winter.
Yeah. Cool. Now, did you want to go psychic or mediumship or whatever comes through, Sherry?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Perfect. So did you want to go psychic or mediumship?
Whatever feels comfortable. A little both,
Awesome.
actually.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I know you've got a couple of questions. I can hear a couple of questions, but I've got a gentleman who's stepping forward, and I can't bypass him whatsoever. So if you wanted psychic, I'm sorry, you've got mediumship. Now the the gentleman is coming through quite strong, and I feel like when he was here, I want to say that he has this. I feel like he was tall, whether or not he was just under 6 foot or just on 6 foot, but he reminds me, and God, please don't take offense to this, but he reminds me of Lurch out of the Addams Family, only because of the way he is and his demeanor. I feel like he's a strong man. He's very quiet. This is why I get the Lurch reference with him. He's very quiet, but yet I know when he was in the room, he would hunch a little bit to try and be at the level of everyone else. Does this make sense to you?
I could be any one of my. I've got many people that have passed away. It could be one of my grandfathers or one of my.
I was going to
fathers.
say grandfather on Dad's side. Would that make sense with you?
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Yeah, because he's really tall, but he's got this beautiful smile, and he's so intrigued in me talking to you. It's like I want to say I don't feel whether or not he's come through before for you, but I do feel like this is very new to him, whether or not it wasn't in his vocabulary when in life, or whether or not he had a certain faith. It's interesting. I don't feel like it's a faith thing. I feel like he was just not aware of knowing how mediums work, and he's very intrigued. And I know I'm sort of sitting, but I feel like he's very tall and he's right behind me. But he's got this beautiful nature. Like, I just want to give him a big hug, and he's got this gorgeous smile. He's also a bit cheeky as well, because I feel like he would come up really quietly behind you and you wouldn't know he's there, and then all of a sudden you turn around and he'd like go boo, or he'd have a little bit of a prankster thing, but it was a very soft, gentle sort of man. Does that make sense to you?
Well, this is the first time, because I never knew any of my grandparents. I never knew them. So.
Okay. Well, I'll just give you the information that I'm getting, and you can just take it back with you and validate it later. But I know you've got photos of him. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Now, he's making me feel really rosy in my cheeks, so I feel whether or not he used to get rosy cheeks, but I just want to make reference to these beautiful rosy cheeks. And I do want to say the way he passed, I want to say that he was in his 80s, or there's a reference to being an elder age, if that makes sense. And I feel like he passed peacefully. I don't feel like there was sudden things around him, but I feel like he passed peacefully. But there's heart or congestive heart issues. I want to make reference to the heart and lungs, if that makes sense.
It very well could be. I have a family reunion. I'll ask my uncle. He'll know more than I do.
Awesome. So I also want to make reference to the fact that there was 3 children or 3 boys, but there's a reference to 3 children. Is your dad one of 3?
I don't know. I don't know that much about my dad, but I know that on my mother's side there were 3 boys in the family.
Okay. So if you put 2 photos, because I'm being pulled to Dad's side, but if you put photos of your grandfathers together, would they be very similar?
I don't know. It would probably be on my mother's side because I never knew what my one on my father's side looked like.
Okay. So
and
Alice,
he was very tall.
Yeah. Okay, Sherry. So what I might do is because I've only got a couple of seconds, but I just want to say he's here. Now, he's also making me aware that you need to stop being so emotional. There's a lot of emotion around you at the moment. So you need to start looking into your heart space and just start grounding. But Sherry, can you do me a favor and contact me on my Facebook page, Jordie Jane's Psychic Medium, on Facebook, because I've got 30 seconds left. So can you please contact me straight after this and connect with me so I can finish the reading for you? I do apologise. I sort of ran a little bit over and the boss is telling me off. So can I get you to do that for me, please, Sherry? Thank you so much, but I will continue this reading because I feel like I've got a few things I need to talk to you about.